Hello everyone, this is Simona Rich from Rising Moon Astrology, and in this video we will learn a lot about the zodiac sign Gemini. Make sure to watch the whole video to really understand what the sign is about. So let's start. Gemini is a mutable sign considered to be weak in astrology because its ruler is Mercury, considered to be a weak planet. It's considered to be weak because it takes on the qualities of the planets it is aspected by or is in conjunction with. So this weakness in Gemini natives manifests in the following way. Unless other chart indicators show otherwise, Gemini natives are likely to give up when the going gets tough. They are discouraged by difficulties on the way to their goal. Another problem with Gemini natives is that they scatter their attention everywhere, so they don't deepen their knowledge on one subject. It's important for them to learn to focus on one thing at one time, or they can focus on two things but not at the same time. They, for example, may have two occupations, which would be quite interesting for them, but they should definitely not exceed this number. There is another problem with Gemini natives, and I will get to the good part too. But here it is. If they follow a successful course in life, halfway or when the success is very near and people expect them to achieve a lot, and then suddenly they change the path, they just shift to a completely different road, and then they have to start from the beginning, and then it's not certain whether they will succeed at that or not. So it's wise for Gemini natives to select the path that they really love and stick to it for a short success. But, and now it's the good part, the good thing about Geminis is that they are very flexible people. They easily adjust to circumstances and they know how to adjust to different people. They are usually very inquisitive people, but on a shallow level because they're interested in so many things that they don't have time to deepen what they're interested in. And again, this applies only for pure Gemini natives. We are influenced by many other signs and planets, so I'm here describing just the Gemini type. Their interests are mainly mental. So, for example, that could be reading or gathering information in other ways. They might be addicted to their phones because the information is at their fingertips. They are averse to hard physical work unless other chart indicators say otherwise. They like to work the smart way and not the hard way. They thrive on variety, so if they don't experience change and it's boring, they can become irritable and unhappy. But when things change and become interesting again, then they will spring back to be their happy selves again. They like partners who mentally challenge them, they like jobs that mentally stimulate them, and they like the environment that often changes. They can quickly change their emotions, jumping from happy to sad in a matter of minutes or even sometimes seconds. And that could be very difficult for some people to take, especially those who have heavy water signs. They love speed. They might drive fast, or they may use the transport that gets them to the destination the fastest. They speak and walk fast. They can gesticulate a lot. And there is animation and liveliness about their appearance, about their faces and eyes, and the countenance can be described as smart looking. Gemini natives are quick thinkers, and even if they are uneducated, they actually could be smarter than some other natives that don't belong to air signs, because air rules the mental plane. However, if there are afflictions to the moon and to Mercury, then they might experience mental problems. And if the afflictions are severe, they can even experience mental breakdowns and even insanity. And even with small afflictions, they often suffer from some kind of nerve problems such as fidgeting, teeth grinding at night, or nail biting. The sun operating through Gemini radiates mental energy. The ruler of Gemini is Mercury, which represents intellect. So Geminis are analytical. They process their experiences mentally. Because they are primarily mental, unless parents teach Geminis to understand people emotionally, to connect emotionally with others, they might grow up lacking compassion and emotional intelligence. And they might completely not understand the signs that operate through this emotional energy. Geminis, like Virgos, are objective critics. So if you really want to get objective feedback, it's them that you need to turn towards. They are dual in nature, showing one side of their personality to the world, usually more positive and social side, more adaptable side, and there is another side of them that is only seen at home, which might be more impatient or irritable. But also the persona that comes out at home could be more in touch with feelings. Geminis, like Aries natives, are often young souls. And if Mercury is combust, then they are also likely to be as selfish as some Aries natives. And if Mercury is also retrograde, that can make it difficult for them to finish their studies and to learn and to function in educational institutions. Freedom is very important for Gemini natives, so the best advice for relationships with Gemini natives is to give them as much freedom as possible. They would hate being questioned on their surroundings, for example. And they are primarily analytical people. They are not into passions, so they will remain loyal as long as the relationship is interesting. For example, you are always changing, you're always growing, so there is always some kind of challenge for Geminis to adjust and to understand you. And since Geminis are social people, even if you're in relationship with them and they spend time with certain individuals, it's very likely that they are just attracted to those people mentally. However, if you really want to make sure that they are going to be stable in love, it's important to check their natal chart and to see the state of their planet Venus. Gemini rules the third house of news and messages, so Gemini natives always have some news to share with you. So they are likely to be in touch with the latest gossip of the area, or they will know the information that you do not know about your common circle of friends. Undeveloped Geminis have a bad habit of gossiping. It could be difficult for them to stay quiet when they know some information about others. It's through the communication that they connect with other people. It's difficult for them to get attached to others, but it is done through lengthy conversations. So if you find a Gemini native having long conversations with you, it means they're interested in you. Gemini natives are always busy. There are always new things happening in their lives. That's because it's a mutable sign. Mutable signs are all about changes. They are likely to be on the go all the time, walking somewhere, using public transport, driving. They're also often busy with their hands, and if they have more earth in their charts, they can actually create useful and beautiful tools with their hands. And even if they don't have more earth in their natal charts, still they will always be busy with their hands doing something, such as using mobiles, but not necessarily creating something. They usually look younger than they are because their planetary ruler Mercury represents young people. They tend to work better in groups and pairs than if the whole responsibility falls on their shoulders. This is one of the human signs in astrology represented by twins, which means that they have more human than animal qualities, so even undeveloped types would be pleasant to be with. However, if their chart is very afflicted, it can indicate someone who is a cheater, a liar, or a thief. In astrology, the sign is considered to be positive and masculine. Geminis are likely to find the following countries good to live in: the USA, Lower Egypt, Southwest England, and Belgium. Gemini natives prefer cities to villages because there are many more things to do in cities usually, and this also applies to the other two air signs. The colors favorable for them are yellow, bright green, and blue. The best gemstone for them is citrine, which is told to balance their dual natures. Also, agate is excellent for them because it has grounding energy, which they often need because they are overly mental. The metal of Gemini is quicksilver. Gemini is most compatible with Libra and Aquarius. They will also get along with Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So these are all the important things to know about the sign Gemini. Make sure to check out my playlist here describing all the other zodiac signs. See you in the next video.